China trades nearly $300 billion a year with Africa, more than 4 times the U.S. Africa trade. After slashing all tariffs on African goods, that number started climbing even faster, up 15% in just a few months. Meanwhile, the U.S. is trimming its own trade ties with Africa. In December 2024, China made a big move. It dropped every single tariff on imports from 53 African nations, while U.S. increased tariffs on the whole continent. That's not just talk. I'm talking full access to the world's second biggest market for everyone from Nigeria to Kenya, Egypt to South Africa. Meanwhile, the US, especially under Trump's America First policy, is going the other direction. Let's break down the numbers. Last year, China-Africa trade hit an insane $295 billion. The US, only $67 billion. That's more than 4 times less. And since China started phasing out its tariffs in late 2024, African exports to China shot up 15%. That's $21.4 billion in goods in just 3 months. This isn't just about selling stuff, it's about influence. China's signaling, hey, Africa, we want to build with you, not block you. They're even pledging $51 billion more in funding, plus tech and commercial help for places like Tanzania and Mali. Now zoom out to the US. For years, Trump's team slapped or threatened tariffs on everyone, even African countries. Some planned tariffs, 50% on Lesotho, 30% on South Africa, 14% on Nigeria. Not all went through, but the message was clear. US market access isn't for African traders. For African industries, the US was once a reliable export market, but that's no longer guaranteed. Under AGOA, African textiles, fresh produce, leather goods, and auto parts entered the US duty-free. But with the Trump administration threatening tariffs on Nigeria, South Africa, Lesotho, and others, confidence in the US market began to shake. African exporters didn't just face higher costs, they faced uncertainty. Orders were delayed, investment was paused. In Lesotho, where thousands depend on textile exports to the US, even the threat of a 50% tariff made factories scale back. In South Africa, citrus producers were put on edge by a proposed 30% tariff. For small and medium-sized African manufacturers, predictability matters. But with shifting US policies, companies began looking elsewhere, especially to China, where tariffs were dropping, not rising. And while AGOA remains active, its future is unclear. It expires in 2025, and many African governments are already preparing for a world without it. As a result, the US is slowly losing its place as a growth partner for African industry, not by force, but by inconsistency. So as China opens the door to Africa, America's busy building walls. In this trade showdown, the winner might just be decided on another continent.